It's Matt Roush.
And Mike Brennan.
And we're back with the, let's see, what is this? March 22nd, 2021 episode of the M Squared TechCast. Happy spring, everybody. It's a beautiful day outside, 65 degrees. The birds are chirping, and it looks like spring is definitely on the way.
Well, it's Michigan, so, right now it's nice. Who knows, right?
We're going to get at least a little bit more snow. There's virtually no doubt of that, but it'll be, wet and sloppy and melt in a couple days. So
there you go. Okay. Then we have rejoining us after a long absence, Enrico Schaefer, our tech attorney. And he laid something on me last week that I was not aware of. Non-fungible tokens for cryptocurrencies. So I had to do a little boning up on that just to see what it was we were going to talk about. But why don't you explain that probably much better than I could, Enrico?
All right, Matt, Mike, good to see you guys again. And so non-fungible tokens, or NFTs, have become really a big part of the news cycle over the last couple of weeks and months. And so you're starting to see a lot of blockchain, a lot of Bitcoin, crypto news, because you've got major institutions, financial institutions are starting to allow Bitcoin transactions to be investment vehicles for their investors. You've got big companies that are now more and more companies starting to accept Bitcoin. So this NFT, this non-fungible token, is a blockchain, a crypto technology where, remember we talked about how the blockchain is like this giant ledger where every transaction goes onto the ledger and it's immutable, right? So with Bitcoin, I buy a Bitcoin, that transaction goes onto the ledger. I know I own that Bitcoin. That can never be changed. I don't need to hold it in my pocket. I've got it, and the transaction's recorded. With the NFT, a non-fungible token is a smart contract built on the Ethereum network, which is a variation of the blockchain. And what it allows us to do is to say, okay, I've got this digital asset. Let's say I've got a piece of digital artwork, and I want to say that I'm going to provide 50 signed copies of that digital artwork that I'm going to make available, just like you would a painting or a print of a painting that is signed by the artist, right? Except there is a painting now, there's just this digital asset. What's going to happen is that with an NFT, a non-fungible token, the artist is going to put online, is going to create the contract terms around that, 50 versions available, and then that record is going to attach to the artwork, go onto the blockchain. And then when people buy or pay at auction the amount of money required to be able to get some sort of rights, sometimes exclusive rights, sometimes limited rights to that digital asset, now I own it, right? Now I own this thing for which it's not tangible. I can't hold it. I can't touch it. I can't bring it anywhere, right? It's just this digital assets that's lodged onto the blockchain that says I now have a authentic signed copy of it. Crazy, isn't it? It's even hard to say all this and make it make sense. So for a lot of people, it just doesn't make sense. But what's happening is these NFTs, these non-fungible tokens that are going onto the blockchain to reflect these auctions or sales of these digital assets, people are paying millions or tens of millions of dollars for these digital assets. So a digital painting, I'm going to pay $1 million for that digital painting. Why? Well, someone in their digital world may want to hang it up, and I'll license it to them to put it into their digital room in the digital world. I saw him like, what? Yes, that's what's going on. And the fact that there's scarcity, meaning there's only so many of them, creates the market value. What is the market value? It's whatever anyone's willing to pay for that NFT.
Just like anything else, right? Yeah, that's
crazy.
My realtor, when I was looking for a house, told me there's some days your house isn't worth anything because there's nobody in the world who wants to buy it that day. But
true.
It's all about what someone is willing to pay for something. When did this start? Really start get going? I know Bitcoin appeared in the early teens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did this follow that shortly, or
no? It's more recent in its. The technology has been there. The smart contract technology has been there. The application for artists, creators, right? This kind of put it into an auction idea is, really relatively new in the last couple of years, but it really has taken off in the past year because you've had these record transactions where people are buying these digital cats that are really basic depictions of a cat, and they're paying, they're paying tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars, collectively millions of dollars, to get some sort of digital rights in that little cat, to that little JPEG that gets stored somewhere on a server. So that's the news cycle. And now what we're seeing is that artists and creators, the light bulb's coming on, right? I'm a celebrity. I've got a picture that is a very famous picture, and I want to create an NFT, a non-fungible token around that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an NFT. I'm going to attach my signature to it, and then I'm going to put it for auction. Now I can monetize that. And so like a playing card for an athlete that's signed is very similar to that. And athletes are taking advantage of NFTs right now, and they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars off of, photographs or artwork that they've created that are now available for people on a limited basis. So it really allows the artistic community, the creator community, to a whole different vehicle to monetize their work. Pretty interesting.
So if we do a painting of Matt Roush and put that online, and then someone would want to hang that in their digital room, which doesn't really exist, we could make a lot of money. I'm thinking that's probably a pretty good idea. What do you think, Matt?
I think I've got better ways to spend 50 cents than most people do. So,
So they don't actually have possession of in the sense of, I'm looking at pictures around my room here. I don't have that. I got this in a digital room only.
Well, theoretically, I could do something with it to make it non-digital, but the point is that it's just a digital. So there's two different general markets for this. There's just the speculative market, the investment market, where I'm going to buy it and I'm going to hold it because it's going to be worth more someday. And people have made hundreds of thousands of dollars buying low and selling high, right? Their digital asset. So for instance, Jack Dorsey created an NFT auction around his very first tweet, and people are paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for the rights, own that signed Jack Dorsey copy of his first tweet. And you could see you could say, okay, that could be worth money someday. Someone might really want that in a digital world down the line. So you've got the kind of the investor market, which is always the bigger portion of the market. And then you've got the kind of the real true enthusiasts who are literally buying this because they do own some digital house in a digital world platform somewhere, and they want to hang this up in their digital house and have other digital people come and be able to visit it and see that artwork, or create a museum where all the digital work is displayed. And now I can charge admission for anyone that wants to come into my digital world to see the digital art collection. I mean, there's so many different variations and permutations of the application of NFTs right now. We don't even really know where it's going to go next, but those are the general concepts.
So as an attorney, is there a downside to this?
Well, look, there's never a downside to anything if you're an attorney, Mike.
I meant for the investor. For you, it's always good because you're billable hours, right?
Yeah, right.
There is upside for attorneys in NFTs because there's going to be lots of legal issues that crop up around NFTs. So it is a buyer beware, and there is a lot of misinformation or uneducated people in the market. But let's just take a look at some of the basics, right? I've got this amazing piece of this JPEG that is an amazing depiction of the state of Michigan from above or whatever, right? Someone did a Google Earth shot of the Golden Gate Bridge and then made that into an NFT and put it up on the market, right? So I've got this thing, and now I'm going to put it into auction. I'm going to sign it as authentic. Someone's going to buy it. Well, what if I didn't own the rights to that? What if I wasn't the photographer? What if I wasn't the artist? And how does someone who's buying know that they're really getting the rights from someone who has rights, or simply an imposter, who is pretending to be Jack Dorsey and is going to put that first tweet up, because guess what? Anyone could go get that and make, a copy of it off the internet. So you've got a lot of legal issues around counterfeiting, you certainly copyright ownership and infringement, market manipulation, as you do with a lot of the blockchain technologies, because there's not that many people in it. So it's easy to drive the market value up high by manipulating the market. If there happen to be people depicted in the photograph or video, for instance, then you could have publicity rights violations. Hey, I didn't give them permission to use my name and likeness. These and other issues are going to be rampant around NFTs.
I was going to ask, has there been any litigation around this issue yet? Have we seen any, what at this point would probably be test cases in the courts on this?
Not that I have seen. There's a lot of reported violations. So someone whose artwork is being auctioned off as a non-fungible token sees it and says, whoa, that's my artwork. Right? That's not me that is certifying authenticity of that. And I didn't license someone to be able to put this into the auction, right? So that is getting reported regularly in the news cycle. And whether or not anyone's actually filed an action yet, I haven't seen it, but it's certainly coming.
Okay. So, wow, that's different. We got about 2 minutes left, so I don't know if we can sum it up, but how did someone come up with this idea? I mean, where did it originate?
Well, the origins of it, I don't really have a handle on. There was a really organic growth around the idea of smart contracts. And so smart contracts are coming, right? So I'm in a contract with you, Mike, and it says that the contract lasts 3 years. We're going to, instead of signing through DocuSign, we're going to use the blockchain, digital signatures. That is going to be recorded on the block. The thing about smart contracts is it'll have a bunch of things in it that get executed. So let's say that there was an automatic renewal if no one gives notice within 6 months of the end of the term. That smart contract can actually remind people that that's coming up, and then record that there is an automatic renewal as part of its logic, right? So this is really a variation of that. It's a smart contract around digital rights. Now, keep in mind, Bitcoin is no different. There is no Bitcoin. There's nothing tangible in a Bitcoin. It's very similar to what's happening here with a signature of authenticity. It's not on paper. It's not a tangible item, right? So you put all these forces together, and people really started to see that we might be able to sell with smart contracts digital items online. The real transformation is when people started buying it for hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars, right? Then all of a sudden you see the market start to evolve around that. And now you have all kinds of people who have valuable digital items using this technology to monetize them. And keep in mind, if I'm an artist and I've got a great piece of art, like Shepard Fairey's colorized Obama poster, if he wanted to go in and put that in, he could just simply say, I'm going to allow 10,000 copies of this, and each one is a license fee of $3,000. Boom, now he's just got it. And if someone's got that digital asset, they can prove they have right to use it, and they can then resell it, and maybe resell it for more, depending on how the rules are set up with that transaction. But it really does provide this ability to track what happens with digital assets on the internet. And the best way to think about all this is it's a superior method to what's going on right now, which is just pure anarchy, right? Everyone's cut and pasting, download an image. No one knows what, there's no tracking of anything. So this is a major leap forward for the creative community in terms of tracking and monetization.
We're going to have to
Enrico,
leave it
give us your contact information.
Yeah,
real
just
quick.
say-
We've reached the end of the segment.
Right.
Sure. So Enrico Schaefer, and it's traverselegal.com. You can contact me there, and certainly happy to help out anyone who's got questions about NFTs or anything else in the digital world.
Traditional four-year students love Lawrence Technological University's thriving campus life, but LTU has always met non-traditional students' needs too. Lawrence Tech offers over 100 degree and certificate programs that can get adult students started or back on track. And most of our classes are conveniently offered evenings at our beautiful Southfield campus or online, so you can balance your social, family, and work life even while you power up your career. Lawrence Tech, where Blue Devils dare.